Hey there, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of our Back to Life podcast. One of the things I've learned on this journey since my own life was interrupted is that interruption is often where awakening begins. It's where fear meets faith, where uncertainty meets courage, and where we are invited to decide how we're going to live the rest of our lives. My guest today, Jenn Mueller, knows the journey deeply. Like many of us who have faced life-altering moments, Jenn's cancer journey didn't just challenge her physically, it changed her emotionally and spiritually. It led her to see life through a different lens, one where gratitude becomes louder, purpose becomes clearer, and the human spirit shows its incredible strength. Jenn is now sharing her story as part of a powerful new documentary called Life Interrupted, alongside others who are courageously telling their stories of struggle, resilience, and trust. Her story is honest, it's heartfelt, and it's filled with a kind of wisdom that only comes from walking through the fire and choosing to keep moving forward. So sit back and get ready to listen to some wonderful insight and inspiration from my friend Jenn.
Welcome to the Back to Life podcast with your host, Danny Bader. In every episode, you'll hear real stories about real transformations from real life. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our podcast. As you heard about my friend Jenn, we will get right into the discussion. Jenn, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Oh, so happy to be here.
Yeah, we certainly, I look forward to hearing more. I heard some about your story, and I'm sure our audience is as well. So everybody, what I didn't tell you in the intro is when I was out at the Grand Hyatt there in Scottsdale, where Jenn will get into it, she's a director of engineering there. I'm at the front desk and I'm waiting in line, and I see Jenn. I didn't know her. I saw her kind of walking across the lobby there, and she just had a certain energy about herself. And I'm always looking for those people with that certain energy that I refer to as radical reverence for your life. And then sure enough, later when I did a workshop with the leadership there is Jenn in the workshop. So that's kind of how our paths have crossed, and I trust they will stay crossed. So Jenn, thanks a lot. Let's start here, Jenn. Take us back to the moment when your life felt interrupted.
Okay, well, it was back in July of 2023. I found myself in a highly toxic relationship that one night I realized that I sort of emotionally hit rock bottom. The next morning I woke up and said to myself, "You're better than this. You've got to get yourself out of this hole that you've somehow climbed into." And told myself enough is enough, dusted myself off, went to work. 11 o'clock that morning, I had a call from my doctor telling me I had cancer. And
So
that's when
your interruption in life was really two. It seemed like first it was a good interruption. You had that awareness like, oh my gosh, this relationship is not for me. I'm not appreciated. I'm not respected. And that's an interruption, right? Where we have a kind of good awareness. And then the next day you get this cancer diagnosis. When you first received that diagnosis, what was happening inside? I mean, tell us a little bit about that. Did you have any symptoms leading up to it?
Yeah. Well, let me start by saying though is yes, I had a good interruption with that, my wake up, but
Mhm.
what turned out to be one of the scariest days of my life, hearing that call, was actually the one that saved my life. So that also was a good interruption. It was for me, it was divine intervention. It took something of that magnitude to get me out of the place that I was in at the moment.
Mhm.
So answering your question from there, I, the call, I, the symptoms that I had, um, I was at the time I was training in jujitsu
Mhm.
and I was really enjoying it. I finished a class, the end of one of my class, changing out of my gi, and I felt like this pain right under my collarbone. And I'm like, wow,
Mhm.
that's weird. It must have been some sort of, um, something that happened during class because there's a lot of body to
Mhm.
body contact in that sport.
Mhm.
So I didn't really think much of it. I'm like, okay, well, I got bruised or whatever. A couple of days go by and the pain was still there. And I noticed, a bump again right under my collarbone. So as a three-time survivor of melanoma, I just
Mhm.
naturally assumed that it might have been a cyst and, caused by what I was doing. So I went to my doctor, didn't really think much of it. She's like, yeah, it's probably a cyst. Took a needle biopsy. A couple days later, came back negative. No big deal. But if you want to come back, if you want us to, give you an excision,
Mm-hmm.
make an appointment and we'll take care of it. Okay, no problem. So a few weeks went by. I'm like, yeah, I got to get this thing out of my, like, it's horrible and it's painful. So I go in there,
Mm-hmm.
um, did an excision at my dermatologist's office. Didn't really think much of it other than I had a few weeks to you know, let the stitches go away and then move on with
Mm-hmm.
my life. Well, there comes that day. Sat down, wasn't thinking anything about it, get the call from my dermatologist, and she basically told me that it was malignant carcinoma of an
Mm-hmm.
unknown origin. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? You don't know what kind of skin cancer it is? And
Mm-hmm.
she said, Jen, it's not skin cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Man, what was going through your head then as soon as you hear that?
total confusion. Like, where was
Mm-hmm.
this coming from at first? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean? And then she said, well, it could be based upon the biopsy results, it could be one of four. It could be colon cancer, it could be breast cancer, it could be ovarian cancer, it could be lung cancer. We don't know yet. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, okay, shocking. And then it kind of kicked me into another thinking, which is something, I every time I went in every year for a mammogram or an
Mm-hmm.
MRI, based upon my
Mm-hmm.
medical history, my mom died of cancer, breast cancer, my grandmother died of breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I always, going into that, took a deep breath and said, okay, when am I going to be told I have cancer? Because with my medical history, my family history, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
I always felt that it's not going to be about if I ever get it, it's going to be about
Mm-hmm.
when I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so to have it come to me in that experience, which is something I totally wasn't planning for,
Mm-hmm.
it was like I got punched in the stomach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what was going through your head then? Like, oh my gosh, here it is. I knew this was coming. Where
Totally.
were you in a good positive mindset, do you think? Did you, because I mean, I know just getting to know you a little bit the time we were together, I mean, you take life straight on,
Yeah,
right? And it's always not about what happens to us, it's about how we deal with it. So were
exactly.
you right on ready to get after it, or did you go to victim mode a little bit? What was going on for you as soon as you got that diagnosis?
Good question. So I think victim mode
Mhm.
started and ended in 10 minutes. Because at
Wow.
first I'm like, Jesus, why am I getting knocked down when I'm already down? Like, what the hell
Yeah.
did I do to deserve this? Right?
Sure. Yep.
This isn't
Yep. Yep.
fair. And
Yeah.
then I quickly got over that and said, okay, I know myself. Anytime
Mhm.
something of tragedy
Mhm.
or problem solving to any sort of magnitude happens in my life, I
Mhm.
kick into problem solving mode. Okay, I just
Right.
get very analytical about it, subjective about it, and say, okay, what I need to learn more about this. I need to figure out what to do. I need to learn what I need to learn to figure out how to fix it. And
Mhm.
so that's what happened to me. And what I thought was my saving grace at the time was that, okay, well, I have it better than most cancer patients because they already took the tumor out. If it's a tumor,
Mhm.
it's already gone. So it's pretty much done, right? Like, it's done.
Mhm.
Thank God they got it in time and it is what it is. Well,
Mhm.
then when I went in to meet with my oncologist, learned a little bit more about the type of breast cancer I had and how aggressive it was, and the protocol in which they recommended me taking.
Mhm.
You know, I was just like, wow, I was in shock. Like, okay, well, this is not what I expected.
Mhm.
How do I get to that next stage? What do I need to do
Mhm.
to first understand this, comprehend what's going on,
Right.
and then figure it out?
Yeah. So what's really important there for the people that are listening, I mean, kind of just go back and touch on the valley of the victim, as we've talked about. We get there. Life's not fair. I can't believe this is happening to us. Why do I deserve this? All these things. It's okay to get there. We're going to get there, and you got there. What's not okay is to stay there. And what's beautiful is you said you stayed there only for about 10 minutes. And then what you did is you reflected on your past, and you said, okay, where in the past have I been knocked down? And where have I gotten up? Oh, okay, great. So I know I can do this, and I'm just going to have to do it again. It kind of sucks right now, and I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to get back up. So I think that's really key for people to understand right there. But the thing is, you got out of the valley of the victim by yourself, right? You just did a little self coaching and had that epiphany, that awareness. What would you say to people who get into the valley of the victim that may not have that history that you have of being knocked down, got up, knocked down? Maybe it's the first time they get knocked down. What would you say to them when they say, Jenn, I just can't, I'm just stuck in this valley of the victim? What other strategies help get them out, you think?
Okay, well, I would say, it starts with leaning into yourself and understanding the core of who you are and
Right.
how this struggle impacts you.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get stuck into a bubble when you're in it in the moment and feel very overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way to pull yourself out, keep the people that adore you, love you, support you close by, lean into
Yep.
them, ask for
Yep.
help, tell them how you're feeling. I think that's the most raw, hard, but
Yep.
most important thing that
Just
you
be
need to do.
vulnerable, right? Just say, shit, man, I feel like shit and
Yeah.
I need your help and I need your love and I need your support. Yeah, that's great. Good. So go to the people, have those conversations. What else? Anything else?
Well, I think it's very important to set that expectation with your
Mm-hmm.
it's another with the people, your support mechanism, your support network. It's
Mm-hmm.
important to share with them what
Mm-hmm.
you need and not feel guilty about it, not in a selfish
Mm-hmm.
way. But what I have found going through this is that it's like the elephant in the room. People don't know what
Mm-hmm.
to say. They don't know how to react. They
Sure.
start making every conversation about the cancer. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what I needed to hear, although
Mm-hmm.
I fully wanted to, and it gave me a sense of life to talk about
Mm-hmm.
what was going on. I didn't want that to be the topic of every conversation. So
Yeah.
share
Yeah.
with them what you need from them, and
Mm-hmm.
just be normal. Just
Yeah.
just ask them just to be normal. Tell me about your
Mm-hmm.
day. Tell me, get me out of this fog or
Right.
place that I'm at.
Right. Yeah, I think that's really key. And I think for the people that are kind of on that side going through it, as you said, and the people, well, more so for the people that are coming to support you, right? Just ask the person, "How are you? What's going on in your head? What are you saying to yourself about this situation?" And then just listen, because too often when we show up to support, as you said, we don't know what to say. We're nervous, so we wind up just saying too much, and it's all blah 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 blah. Blah, and as you said, it's all about the person's cancer. So just show up when people are struggling and ask them, "How do you feel? What are you saying to yourself about it?" Listen, and then just say, "How can I support you?" And then go from there. And I really like how you say just bring it back then to life, because this cancer that we're dealing with is just it's a big part, but it's just a part of our life right now. I mean, there's other areas that are going on, and there's other areas that have some joy in them. So let's get a little of that good energy of joy, because that's going to help us fight, the battle that we're fighting. I think it's
Exactly.
so really good. Um, did that journey begin to help you how you change how you saw yourself at all? Did
Oh,
anything
it
shift
was
inside because you've had the melanomas, I know, and I don't mean to belittle them. And though now you got a more, it sounds like a more significant diagnosis. Did
yes.
it, did any of these things shift for you then?
It was a miraculous transformation in my life. It really was.
Uh-huh. Tell
And
us
when
about that.
I say that, it's
I
I
love miraculous transformation, so I'm going to listen now.
it basically s- it shed everything that I thought was important, that I was clinging on to, that I thought
Uh-huh.
that was me being present for other people because I didn't value who I was as much as I should. When
Yeah.
you get diagnosed with something like this and feel like your life could potentially be ending and you need to fight for it every minute, every day, bring the strength back to you, you
Mhm.
lose all those things rapidly. You figure out what's important and what doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
And for me, I have always been kind of an empath, I would say, and bringing people into my life that
Mhm.
people said I had my friends of mine would always tell me, "Oh, Jenn, you're a bad picker when it comes to men. You have the savior syndrome. You're always trying to fix people."
Mhm.
Not anymore. I can see that from a mile away, and I don't have that kind of time or energy to waste
Right.
on that which does not serve my mental well-being.
Got it. Got it.
and it
So,
changed my energy
yeah,
and perspective in life.
I love it. I love it. So, a couple things to dig into there when you talked about it. So, what really matters now? What really matters for you? If you've got to put a block, 4 or 5 blocks as the foundation, what are those blocks that you say this is really what matters for Jenn?
I would say what really matters is my my support system, um,
Mm-hmm.
and waking up each day looking for what I can take from that day and
Mm-hmm.
what I can give back to that day. Whether it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a quick interaction walking through the basement of the hotel and watching the cooks doing
Mm-hmm.
their thing. They usually play music in the background, doing a
Right.
couple of, steps along the way and making them
Sure.
laugh and giving them a high five on their way into work, asking them
Mm-hmm.
how their weekend was.
Mm-hmm.
Being aware of everything, watching our guests walk through the lobby and look at things differently. I have this sixth sense of awareness now and
Mm-hmm.
observation,
Mm-hmm.
and I find myself gravitating to that and just not. I've always been very, very shy and withdrawn and not very self-confident, but
Mm-hmm.
now alls I want to do is just like absorb and pick up on anything that I can bring back and give to
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Right. So the
It's
foundation,
exciting.
yeah, it is. It's a wonderful. So the foundation is really, well, there's some gratitude, right? I wake up, here's
Yes,
life. I'm gonna get
yes,
after it.
definitely
Then
gratitude.
there's a foundation of people and relationships and a positive transfer of energy between people. Whether they're, as you and I talked about, whether it's our moai, that Japanese custom of your kind of really inner circle,
Yeah,
or it's just those people that you deal with, or maybe it's somebody that you don't even know, and you're going, you're walking past them going into a store. There can still be a good transfer of energy, right? Good morning, a smile, something of that nature. How does faith, is faith in anything bigger a foundation for you?
oh, it definitely is now. So I did not grow up in the church.
Okay.
I've always felt myself to be um spiritual.
Okay.
I didn't practice or even understand or learn about any given religion. My parents
Formal, yeah, formal
were not
religion,
those
yeah.
people.
Yep.
However, every single day, ever since my journey began, and it started with that diagnosis, the day that it happened, the timing was
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
reverent.
Yeah.
I found myself early on during the process that
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of um, synchronous things happening in my
Mm-hmm.
day to day. And at first, I was like, "Oh my God, can you believe like what the
Yeah.
coincidence that this is happening right when it's happening?" Like the person
Yes.
that I met, I was just talking,
Yes.
looking for this. Like all these things kept happening in my life every day that it just blew me away. It left me speechless. Well, now
Uh,
I'm just like, yeah,
yeah.
I'm now expecting that. It doesn't surprise me anymore
That's
because
cool.
good things happen.
Yep.
And it's all, to me, that's whatever you call your God or your
Sure.
spiritual guide or whatever you believe in or don't believe in, there's
Yeah.
something to me I have felt in this journey greater than life that
Mm-hmm.
has that has, you know, doing things along the way. And it could very well be my
Good.
mother, could be my mom angel up there,
Yeah.
you know, giving me a high five and
Well,
saying, "Okay, throw this
if
her
I
way."
had if I had $20 to bet on it, I would bet it's your mom angel up there.
I
Because
would
yeah,
say so too.
there's
Because
a
of
fourth
course.
energy, right? Heart, brain, and lungs make our body go. And then it's that spirit, that innate and tangible essence. And if you want to connect it to God or to Jesus or to whoever the God of your choice is, the God of your practice, that's okay. It's just that's what people always sometimes they want to get into the God, the religious side of connection. I'm like, I don't just feel it, man. You
Feel it.
call it whatever you want. I've got my beliefs around it. Just feel it. And
Right.
that's what I think is so important. And though when you use the word coincidence, I am hardly ever surprised anymore in my podcast episodes, our podcast, when people talk about this. And I always get back to one of my favorite quotes by Einstein. He said, "Coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous." So any of these things that we go, "Oh my God, I
Totally
can't
believe
believe
that.
this happened." we've got to understand that that's our spirit. There's a connection there, and our spirit wants only what's best for us. Because oftentimes when we talk about these coincidences, they're not bad ones, right? They're ones where we're going, oh my gosh, this is beautiful, this is great, and everything else. The other thing that I want to kind of pull from our past conversation here of a few minutes for people to think about is when you talked about, one of the things that shifted for you is you tried to save the world, you tried to save everybody. You're a bad picker of men. Is that what your friend told you or whatever?
Bad picker.
So I think it's really important. I have this conversation all the time with different people, my sister, and just, those of us, you, me, those of us with those big hearts, right? And that big connection to our spirit. We want what's good for other people as well. So we invest our energy there. And then though, at some point, I think it's okay to kind of love them from a distance, right? Pray for them from a distance, maybe. Because as you said, it's what matters is putting your energy somewhere, and not necessarily that you need a return on it. It's not like, oh, I'm going to help this person because then I'm going to get something out of it. Though when we continue to invest our energy there and it's just a drain on us, and that person is not, seeking to help themselves, sometimes it's better, I think, to kind of move away. That's a tough conversation. Even when I say that, a lot of times I sit and go, wow, sometimes that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Anything else as your foundation? So it's your people, it's your gratitude, it's your awareness, it's a little belief in something bigger. It's a disconnect from the negative people, love them from a distance. Anything else on your foundation before you go to, you're a director of engineering, which so you've been with Marriott how long? Or Hyatt, rather. You've been with Hyatt
Ooh. I'll forgive you for that.
Oh my God, lightning bolts.
Just don't
Lance,
call
don't
us
listen.
Marriott's okay. If you said the other H word, that would have been bad.
Yeah, no, I get it.
What was the question? How many of us are there in the company?
So yeah, you've been with Hyatt how many years?
36 years.
36 years, and you're a director of engineering.
Yes.
Right. And how many females are directors of engineering?
In the company, last I looked, there were 4.
4 out of how many?
200
Hundreds.
in North America.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And I only know this, I can quote this quickly because we just had very recently one of our annual director of engineering meetings in Seattle.
Right.
And so of course we did the count.
Yeah. So anything else as a foundation? Because that's what people go and they say, well, my job, I want to make money, I want to buy things, I want to have that's all good. And that's what I offer people. Just, is there an opportunity to look and say, that's not my foundation? Because like you said, when you get the cancer diagnosis, you're not worrying about all that.
No.
You're worrying about your people and your gratitude for life and your resilience and your spirit. Is there anything else on the foundation before you get to the world, right? Money, finances, jobs, career, success.
So all of that comes with, a core foundation of having passion in your life and interest. Coming out of this for me, all I want to do is figure out how I could find what my new purpose is and how I can expand on that and use that as a platform to share my story. So I've been seeking out, not non-for-profit organizations that are aligned in my beliefs and my passion to figure out how we could partner, how I could support, how we could get this message out, whether it was, cancer awareness or whether it was self-confidence in young girls and women.
I love that.
Coming out of your shell, all those things. So that has been my mission and purpose in life to do that. And I've been able to find a couple, and actually in the last few weeks, that I'm super excited to support and see what we can do. And I have the blessing of working for a company who is just an unbelievable company.
Yeah.
Very supportive, is very aligned in their belief and support for their own people, the community, and given me the autonomy to maybe use where I've come from in my work and my career to help bring it a little bit further with the non-for-profits, just communication.
Yes, I think that's great. Yeah, when you have a company that has those values, where it's really a love and a concern for other people, and they really live them, and they say, yes, Jen, we value your leadership here at Hyatt, and go impact other people. I think that's great. And I'm sure
It
you
is
have a
off.
wonderful energy. I could see you mentoring the young women for more self-confidence and resilience. I think that's amazing. That's a perfect fit. And let's talk a little bit about this documentary that you and I spoke about during our break when we were together.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So it's called Life Interrupted, the cancer series. And this
Mm,
came about because of a friend of mine who, again, I randomly met in Pine Top. I have a little cabin up there. We were at this local bar at the same time, sat down, had a friend, introduced us, met, started talking the same language,
mm,
made a connection. That was 2 years ago. He actually is a producer
mm,
and he was affected by cancer. His mother, his father, as a caretaker, friends of his. He knows that I have been looking for a way to share my story.
mm,
He recently gave a scholarship on behalf of his mother, who recently died,
mm.
to a director friend of his to direct and produce another movie.
Oh man,
So
that's
with
great.
all that, one of his friends was recently diagnosed again with colon cancer, and he said, "You know what? This is it. This is what I got to do." It started with an idea of being a podcast and
Mm-hmm.
turned into a 20 plus episode documentary series on the journey of cancer, whether you are a
Mm-hmm.
caretaker, whether you are in the medical field and having to deal with that, educating people, um, whether you're a survivor, all the things. So
Mm-hmm.
we just did our first episode, which was last Wednesday.
Right.
Filmed our two first episodes. It's going to be airing on JeffReynoldsProductions.com YouTube channel and Sleep On It Productions, which is my director, Marilyn Swick, her YouTube channel. We're trying to get it in for an Emmy nomination. And we'll see what happens with it after the fact, but it's
Mm-hmm.
super exciting to be a part of.
Yeah.
It's, I've just come to know so many people just in the process, in the short process that we've been working on this
Yeah.
production.
So it's called Life Interrupted, right?
Yes.
Life Interrupted, a cancer journey or the cancer journey?
Yes. Yes. The
Yeah.
Life Interrupted, the cancer series.
Yeah, the cancer series. And that'll be beginning when might people be able to look for it?
I think we're trying to launch the first episode by the first week of May.
Okay. All right, cool. So what it'll do, everybody listening right now, Jenn, when it comes out, you just text me or whatever, and then
Okay.
I'll put something out on social media, and anybody that's listening right now will be able to go and find it. That sounds good.
Fantastic. Thank
Jenn,
you.
during some of your hardest moments, the struggles, whether it be cancer or other things in life, what helped you move on? I mean, I guess we covered some of those, but what really helps you move on? What's the foundation for that?
Gosh, it's all of the things we just talked about. Me
Hmm.
in particular, yeah, I think we already established this. I'm single. I don't have any children. I'm here in Arizona alone, so to speak. My
Hmm.
family, both
All
my
right. So if any single men out there in Arizona and Scottsdale, oh, come
Thank you,
on, Jen. You
Danny.
know me. I
Appreciate the
couldn't.
plug.
Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't
You couldn't
pass
resist.
that. I couldn't resist. I couldn't pass it up. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're
Don't be
having some fun.
sorry. Don't be
No,
sorry.
not at all. Not at all. It could be one of those coincidences, right?
It could very well be. You never know. Um,
Yes,
no,
absolutely.
being out here alone, it's I'm not alone, and
Hmm.
I'm gonna fall back on my Hyatt family, my career. I
Hmm.
this family is my family. You can pick your family. You can pick who you want to be in your life. I have never felt so supported in my life as I did from my Hyatt family
Yeah.
through this time. So,
Yeah.
dealing with this $130 million renovation over 2 years while I was going through chemotherapy, I couldn't wait to get to work because I just wanted to be around people. I wanted to be around those people that were supporting me, giving me the high fives for
Mhm.
showing up.
Yeah.
I loved it. That was my energy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
drank.
that's something we didn't talk about. You did, during your chemotherapy, you're the director of engineering at this property. How many rooms there?
497.
Yeah, I mean this huge, beautiful property in Scottsdale, and you're going through this tremendous renovation, 130 million. You're director of engineering, so I mean a renovation. Engineering is kind of at the core of that. So I talk a lot about stillness, and let's think about this then. So you've got the stress, let's say, of, oh my gosh, I'm sick, I need to heal, I'm going through chemo, and I've got this business commitment as a leader to a $130 million renovation. How did you kind of recharge? Does stillness play any part of your life?
Stillness played a part in my life, and this is going to sound completely absurd, but
They're usually the
I,
best.
I, so I had, my treatment consisted of, infusions every Friday for 3 months. So I worked 4 days a week. My infusions were on Friday. It was 3 hours in a seat.
Hmm.
And besides the pain that I physically went through that 3 hour process and
Hmm.
coming down off of the treatment every Sunday,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
actually looked forward to it because for the
Hmm.
first time in my life, being in this hotel industry, being 24/7 operation,
Hmm.
always having to respond, be present, be, you know, juggling 100 things at a time, that gave me the time to not have to do anything, to answer to
Hmm.
anybody, to
Hmm.
think within my stillness, meditate, reflect. I would
Hmm.
sit in that chair and look out the window. I was at the Mayo Clinic
Hmm.
in North
Hmm.
Scottsdale. They treated me like I was checking into a resort. They did not treat me like a patient. They treated me like a friend. So going in there and seeing my friends every week and sitting in that chair gave me a time to be still and reflect on who I was, why I was there,
Hmm.
watching what was going into my veins trying to kill me,
Yep. Yep.
but I felt more alive because I was able to sit without anything else, no
Hmm.
distractions.
Hmm.
And that's how I think I got through the stillness. That's the stillness that was brought to me during that time.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's cool. And what's really important for everybody listening here is don't wait for tragedy, right? To invest in the stillness because the spirit resides in stillness. So as you sit there and you're in your stillness right now and you're thinking about things and you're getting them with your thoughts and you're thinking about what it's going to be like when you get better and you're thinking about, okay, what am I saying to myself about what I'm dealing with right now? And if it's negative, right, you're catching that and you're reframing it. That all happens in stillness. So anybody listening, don't wait for tragedy. If you do not practice stillness, and the majority of you probably don't, and if I showed you all the science behind it, you would go, yes, I should. So get out there, take some walks, do some meditation, go fishing. And it's not really about catching fish, just disconnect from the craziness of this busy outer world and pay attention to what you hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jenn, anything else? I got one final question. We covered some wonderful things, but anything else, from your journey, your cancer journey, or your journey of life that you think is really important for people to consider? It's not as if you're telling them, you're just offering them some things.
My my offering is to when it comes to, or I'll speak about my journey and disease. When it comes to that, um,
Mm-hmm.
you be your own advocate, give yourself grace. It's not your fault. You're not less important or damaged. You just had a struggle in your life that you can overcome. But in order to do that, you need to really dig deep within yourself and again, reach out to the people that you know you can trust and who care for you. Be honest with
Mm-hmm.
yourself, be honest with them. And in this crazy medical world,
Mm-hmm.
be your own advocate. You have a
Mm-hmm.
gut instinct for a reason. Listen to it,
Yeah.
don't ignore it. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
when you
that's
ignore it,
really
that's
good
when it's
right
going to get you
there.
in trouble.
Yeah, that is really, really good. All of what you said. And anybody that deep inside, that knowing, that gut instinct, that feeling, that intuition, whatever we want to call it. And what Jenn is saying is follow that. Follow that. And even when you got to stand up for yourself to follow that when other people might not want you to. I think that's pretty powerful. Jenn, great, great time with you. I knew it would be wonderful and insightful, and I'm sure people are listening and they're taking some things away. Closing question for you.
Yes.
Um, what does being back to life mean to you
Well, I
now?
simply put, this has honestly become my motto. Um, the disease that tried to kill me brought me back to life.
Mm,
It really did. It was not, I didn't just survive. I had an awakening.
yeah.
And everything that we've discussed up to this point is that in a nutshell. And you can take it and interpret that any way you need to in your own personal journey in life and struggle in
Mhm.
life. But that's what it was for me.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful when somebody says I had an awakening. I had the insight into the essential meaning of what was going on in my life. And usually the meaning of the struggles that we have, the challenges and the setbacks, oftentimes it's only the surface level. What does this mean? Oh, this means that, I could be sick, I could die, I'm going to miss work. I've got, we always go to those things versus really going deep. And I think that's what you got to when you said it's really all about the people. And what I love when you talked about how can I use this to impact other people? Because I think when you truly get to living with a radical reverence for your life, which you do, and that's one of the reasons I said, hey, I want to get you on my podcast, and I thank you for coming on. When you live with a radical reverence for your life, Jenn, and everybody Jenn, you know this, but everybody listening, you don't count your days by the number on the widget on your phone. What's today? Oh, it's the 24th or what? No, you count your days by the courage and the awareness and the trust that you have, that you keep coming back, and you count your days by the impact that you make to other people. And I would just say, Jenn, I'm blessed to know you. I trust our paths will stay connected, and thank you for the impact that you make to other people, to this world.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me share that with the other people on your podcast.
Oh, you got it. You got it. All right, anybody listening. So until next time, take some insight from Jenn, right? About the foundation, about faith, however you define that, about the relationships, about looking to your past and saying, okay, when have I been knocked down before? I got up and I can do it again. And having that vision and having that trust and having that focus every day when you come back to life to say, where can I make an impact? Think about all those things, take one or two and begin to apply it to your life. And until next time, just remember that there is a hell of a difference between just living and going through the motions and being fully alive and living with a radical reverence for your life. Jenn, thanks again. Appreciate it. Love you.
Love you too, Danny. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing the Back to Life podcast with your friends. And don't forget to join us in the next episode.